Hi, I'm Victor. I'm a local artist and I'm here to share my story. I found out about all sorts of artists who made ball jointed dolls themselves and 3D printed them, and I just fell in love with that. And I started making my own. The community does not have very many dolls of diverse types. Like, they don't particularly cater to making people of color or cater to making people of different body types. But I decided to be that person and do what I wanted to see. I also have found a fondness in taxidermy. The anatomy of it always was beautiful to me, and being able to love something again and have something that's loved even long after it's gone for both education and personal is just, it was a passion that immediately took me over. Since I was younger, books were super influential to me. This library was where I came to try and find family history, because I knew my great-grandfather's name, and I knew that he came from a reserve. So I texted my great-uncle and I was like, hey, I'm doing a school project on family history. Can you tell me where my great-grandparents are from? And he did. And that's how I found out what reserve my great-grandfather was from, and a lot of other stuff about kind of family history on my dad's side. My grandmother, she was openly Indigenous, I guess. The first confirmation about her being Indigenous was a video that my uncle took where he was interviewing her, and she was talking about how her parents were Indigenous. It sucked to finally come to terms with a part of myself and having the one person who I could talk to not be there anymore. It was a big chunk of the missing puzzle of myself. Once I found out about that, it gave me that aha moment that helped me figure out who I was and where I kind of fit in. I grew up in Sudbury. I went to a predominantly white school downtown. I often felt outcasted while I was there. Not having a space for myself or knowing what kind of people I fit in with definitely put me in some uncomfortable situations, and definitely put other people in uncomfortable situations, because I was angry. Kids would point at me and laugh at me, and it was at kind of that age I realized I was different than everyone else, because I didn't fit in with the other people of color. Most of my family is white, so I believed I fit in with the white people, but I didn't. They would make fun of me, and then I tried to fit in with everyone else, and they kept making fun of me because I had no culture, no sense of self. But I feel as I grew up, I started to actually be oh, there is a spectrum of different races and different identities, and I feel being queer, that also influenced my perspective on different people. The world hates people who are different because of jealousy. I felt horrible because my family had no regalia to pass down. The majority of people who are full of hatred towards other people of other races, I find that it's jealousy because they don't have a culture themselves, or they were so separated through years of colonization that they don't have a culture. And that goes for everyone of any race or heritage. And I feel like that is what leads to a lot of prejudice, and then that prejudice leads into racism, and then it's just a cycle. If I could change one thing, I think I would change like the education system. You're taught things as children that aren't true necessarily. Like, you're taught so much, and a lot of it's just, oh, those people are different, hate them. I know so many people who were taught that as kids, and then as they grew up, just stayed in that narrow mindset. But it's possible to change, and it's possible to educate yourself. You just need to know where to turn, who to talk to, find groups that will listen. My goal to join the project was to talk about who I am, how I struggled with finding my sense of self, and how I know there's a lot of other kids in the community who were like me, who struggled to find their sense of self, and that made them frustrated or upset. And I just want to be that beacon. I think my message would be, it's worth it. Like, it's worth every step, and it's worth even dealing with your family. Like, you live once, you need to make the best of it. Make the most of your life, don't live being upset.